Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, the Honorable Ma'am Saras and Mr. Slamet as my lecturer GICC course. In today's opportunities, let me present my multimodal literacy narrative. Without any further ado, let's get to know me more through point of view how my whole life experiences can change the relationship with language, especially into my English journey. First of all, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Reski Halda. So sorry with the last three student number 040. Oh, if you saw a kid here, it was me when I was a kid with my cat. Through this picture, I don't really know what I was thinking about. Probably wondering about what I would be in the future, like the English song I've listened about, Que Sera Sera, what I would be, I'll be. Next, welcome to my long life journey. So I was born on Sidoarjo 19 September 2005. That was upon a time where my life began. And I am the last child in my family, but in the midst of 2024, I have to move in Surabaya due to continue my educations in my beloved college, University State of Surabaya. Since I was a kid, my family loves music, either from Indonesian music or Western music. I still remember it well back then when my parents were putting a music case into the car radio. So I think it was make my relationship with language change as I grew up. It feels like throwback and nostalgia when every time I heard Westlife boy band music. When I was in junior high school, I graded in Cambridge-based curriculum, so I need to improve my English every day. I found the TechX through my cell phone. I saw it was interesting for me, so TEDx became my first impactful and meaningful encounter with my English. I watched several videos until today. I like to hear their arguments, their experiences, and so on. TEDx not just only motivator platform, but it more than that. It opens up global opportunities. In cultural contexts such as school, facilitated my learning English. After COVID-19, it was during in my high school. Finally, pandemic is over. I challenged myself to jump into English competitions, and it was my first time ever. I would say that it was worth experience that held in person because I brave enough to speak in front of audience. So next. Well, I could admit how people say that I am talkative person and loves to listening to everyone's stories without see their backgrounds. As you can see through these pictures, this is me and two foreigners during my school vacations. At that time, I was practicing my English with them. They were nice and friendly. Look how we can stick together fast and easily. It was an unbelievable moment actually. English has also shaped my confidence, especially when my speaking skills finally got improved until I reached the semi-final round at University of Brawijaya. And now I know that English is more than a language and it's part of my life to connect with others and how I express myself as a student of University State of Surabaya. So next, looking back in 2018, I graded from junior high school that each student are mandatory to communicate in English every day. And we also have the English day, which after prayers we have to speak to many students about our summary literacy report. And from this experience, my English literacy grew through fun activities. But then in my spare time, me and my friends in junior high school create some of group discussions using English as the platforms are Discord, Snapchat, just for play game. It was helped me a lot in communicate with them casually with people worldwide and interact with them using English language. YouTube and Spotify as a part of my entertainment and also helped me to explore what is happening and become up to date, either to expose to new accent or the expression. Last we got Netflix to improve my English listening through literature such as movies so that I can watch English movie without subtitle. This digital platform were not just a entertainment but it also was self-improvement for me to transform how I learned and using English as my daily consumptions. So, who would ever thought that English can evoke my emotional expression the way I speak? For me, using English can really change and evoke to my mindset the way I think and touch my emotional expressions. Even this language from globalization evoke that I use every day with my friends as a part of how I communicate informally. Since I cannot decide one pieces of media, so I would take song and book. So first, I'm going to tell about song that had impact on my English literacy. Simply because when I was a kid, I grew up listening to these two artists, Beyonce and Taylor Swift. But through Beyonce's song that called Hello was the first who showed me how powerful English could be. Their songs taught me how English can carry hidden meaning and emotions. From that moment, I realized that English literacy was not just about understanding words, but they also have the message behind their arts. So next is a book. Book has become one of the pieces of media that had biggest impact on my English literacy. Book shaped the way I understand language and it guided me on my journey to finding my patience for English proficiency. True, book helped me to explore the world through pieces of paper. Isn't it sounds insane? Book also can create creativity and inspire the way I think. And yes, without many thoughts, you must be wonder which book that influenced me the most. And can you guess from this cover, the one behind the doodle called Figure, that is the book that changed everything in me. Here is I present my first English book named Diary of One Wicket. Back then when I was in junior high school, I used to love writing book in the school library. And Diary of One Wicket as my first English book that has impact on my English literacy in book. Oh, as one of pieces of media, when I saw this cover, it immediately caught my attention because I really loved the art style. I read this whole book without using dictionary at all. I don't need the translations anymore. I could understand the whole story. Reading this book, it makes me feel like falling in love because this book using simple English, it made me comfortable book and excited to read more English book. I even wore it for weeks until I found the next chapter. This book taught me that English could be this enjoyable. I'm going to tell about geographical can shift and shape my understanding of utilize the English. Moving to Surabaya in midst of 2024 became a major cultural and geographical shift that shaped how I understand and use English. Move to other region is not easy. Adaptation is needed. So I had to adapt to new environment and I met many people, new people. They change and push me to grow. I think Surabaya is a city where young people are using English in their daily lives to communicate with others, and being surrounded by that from the cultural can really support me a lot in learning process. This shift didn't change the way I live, but it also reshaped the way I use English in my everyday life to connect with them. Let's gather the unity of diversity and let's take actions to be better. After I moved to Surabaya, I finally experienced culture bumps. I met a lot of people that different with my hometown. In Surabaya, everything is fast, especially the way they talk. I talk with locals every day, so I knew their dialect sound like harsher than I used to. Not only that, I also met a lot of people from different religions, ethnicities, and many more. Instead of creating distance, these cultural differences taught me how language can build connections. English became my lingua franca, especially the way I communicate with my online friends through Discord and Snapchat. I have mentioned before, where I constantly could switch my English and with other language. My language then is my conversations in English, Indonesian, and Japanese. This hybridity improved my communications competence and helped me to grow as a digital citizen while shaping my English proficiencies. During college, I spent my spare time to join social organizations that called GICC. This platform helped me to build networking and one of bootcamp that helped my leadership skill, and we decided to collect and sharing ideas to build differences through strategies using SDGs visions. We connect with foreigners also, so that's why we have to use English to discuss the ideas. So I'll introduce them. This is they are. They are is my team, and we are going to have a project in our work team. So we collaborate with foreigners, English become our lingua franca. And interestingly, my digital identity features more confident and Polish English, while in real life I'm speaking Indonesian and Japanese dialect, showing how I do code switch here across the context. For the first time in my life, I truly felt like a real English user was when I joined several best language in English competitions. Even though that I have been struggling with my confidence, especially when I try to speaking in front of camera using English, I have to push myself to keep improving every challenge. And at that time, I started with using YouTube as a platform to express my ideas. And that moment, I finally could share my ideas and thoughts through my voice publicly. It made me realize that I was becoming a real English communicator. In my spare time, I developed my English speaking through joined English club. I met many people from different backgrounds there. As you can see in the picture here, I went to Western Sydney University, Indonesia. I really wish that I can go abroad one day. This space, as English club itself, become a lingua franca for us and communications competence because they are allowing us to bridge the material with the cultural differences. I even use code switch with them called bilingual. Through these experiences, it can grow my communications competence. I can see that it motivated me a lot to keep learning and never surrender. Well, finally, but my journey is not yet over. But thank you so much for your attention to listen my storytelling from this multimodal literacy narrative in TAM, the journey of English proficiency. I hope that my journey could be inspired for others. I'm sorry if I have many mistakes. That's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.